this is Colleen with YarnWars.com. I'm here today with a new pattern. We are doing the Ramblin' Rose, Beanie, Slouch, Messy Bun Hat pattern. I have all three of these in a pattern, in the single pattern that you will find downloadable either at our Facebook group at and the link, I'll just say the link is below in the description, or you'll find it at the YarnWars.com website, which will be the feature pattern for a little while up on the front page. But as many of you know, we came out with the Ramblin' Rose. I came out with a Ramblin' Rose scarf not long ago. Really love this pattern. It just really turned out pretty, very pretty. I love the transition of colors. I used the Lion Brand Landscapes on this one. Unforgettable by Red Heart is another great yarn for this. There are so many good yarns to use for this, guys. This is the beanie. This is how it comes out. And actually the one that I have pictured on the pattern, I added a little pom-pom to it, but that is optional, of course. This was made with Red Heart Colorscape, and the color is Shanghai, if you like this. I love the color scheme on this one. So I'll be showing you how to make the beanie part of this, and that is just working with your, you know, the traditional kind of beanie start to get to the size that you're looking for, and then we go into the pattern from there. Now, I also will be showing you how to get started with this. It's really easy, but we work this in the round, so you don't have to sew it up on one side. It's all made together. It's a continuous work here. And this one, what did I use for this one? I am not sure what color I used for this one. So I don't have the sleeve handy. I will find out what that is after I do the video, and I will post that in the description as well. So I'll have the colors that I used if you're looking for them. These were Hobby Lobby colors. This one I just got from Walmart or somewhere. But I'm really, really super excited today. Oh, this is the yarn that I'm going to be using for the pattern tutorial, the video tutorial today. It is Yarn B, Rustic Romantic. What you want to do is look for the number 4 weight in, and I had to look this one up because it's not on here. This one, the color is Window Ivy. I love this. This is a 4 weight, also one that I got from Hobby Lobby. I'll be using a J hook for this pattern. You want to make sure you have your scissors, snippers, and a blunt needle to hide in your tails. You only have a couple of tails to work in. So, but I'm really excited. I have to tell you today, it doesn't take much to excite the yarn crafters world, does it? No, I got in, I had ordered some yarn from Dollar Tree, and as everybody knows, Dollar Tree just has not been very accommodating on the yarn end. But I learned that they had some, and I had to jump in there because they had my favorite yarn, Red Heart Unforgettable. So, and a lot of people hate Unforgettable, but if you've seen, a lot of my scarf patterns are made with the Unforgettable. I don't know what it is. It's really annoying to work with if you have to, you know, frog it, if you have to take it out to fix something. But I've kind of found my own technique to do that, so it's not real difficult to work with, for me anyway. But I got just a couple of different colors, and really, really happy about this. This one, I love the colors in this one. This is going to be fun, and I'm not sure what I'm going to make with it, but I'm sure there's a new scarf in Yarn Wars future. So anyhow, I want to jump right into this pattern. This is made, if you're looking at the pattern, the written pattern, I do have links that go directly to in the scarf area, and I will have obviously the full video tutorial listed there, but the written pattern has a couple of the stitches. I direct you straight to the video section so that you're able to see how that's worked if you prefer to go with a written. Also has different hat sizes. So if you need to size it, there's also instructions in the pattern for that. So let me see, let me get some things out of my way here. All right, so with this pattern, you're going to want to work, it's worked in multiples of 6. And for our scarf, we do multiples of 6 plus 1. Now, it's not necessary for the hat because I actually have you starting your first stitch into your starting chain. So you make up for that second chain space that you go into when you're doing the scarf. We don't need that extra space for our hat. So all we need to do is remember to work in multiples of 6, which I've done, and I've laid out a basic hat. But if you're like for the beanie, that'll be really easy to size, and I lay those sizes out and I tell you what to do to adjust if you need to make it smaller, if you need to make it larger. If you're making the full slouch, which is the full pattern, and I didn't finish this off because I'm going to finish this at the end of the video. I'm going to show you how I close it all off. So I did as long as I was going to go for this, and then I'll show you how I finish it in the end. So I got enough yarn to do that. But if you're making the slouch, the full pattern, you are going to want to be sizing it properly. So you're going to have to figure out your chains. This is for an average size on the slouch. That'll fit, I would say, between a 19 and a 21. So an average size head. But if you're wanting to make it smaller, again, you're going to have to kind of figure out your chains, and I'll explain that a little more as well. But hopefully all of the information you need that I'm not telling you here is going to be found down in the description. Hopefully I don't miss anything. I apologize for all the shadows here. Lighting is not great here, and if you hear noise, it's because I live in a noisy home, and hopefully I can do this without, you know, totally angering people. So let's get started. We are starting with the beanie. We're just going, we're actually not going to start with a beanie. We're going to start with a messy bun. I'm going to try to combine all of this into one video, and I'm going to try to make some of these a little quicker because these should all be very simple. But if you're working the messy bun pattern for this, you are going to want to start first to make your slip knot. And we're going to start by chaining 36 for the messy bun beanie hat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 25. 31, 32, 33, 34, and 36. So when we have our 36, we're going to join, make sure your chains are not twisted there. We're going to join down to the first chain we made with a slip stitch. Okay. Okay, so once we've joined with a slip stitch, we're going to start by chaining 2. Now I'm going to be directing you back to the pattern. The best way to work the messy bun hat part of this would be to make sure that you have the print version, or you can have it on the website, but that you have the written version to go back to, because I'm just going to be getting you started off here, but really what you're going to be doing is you're jumping straight from here into round 5 of the beanie hat pattern. So to start, we have chain 2. We're going to work 2 double crochets into that starting chain space right there. We are not using the chain up as a stitch. All right, that's going to help us get a little bit more of an invisible seam. And I'll show you that at the end. But like I said, we're working round 5 right now of the beanie pattern. The only thing different in the messy bun is the fact that we chained. And hopefully I do not have issues with focus. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Or in each of the next 2 chains right now. It is going to give me problems. And then we're going to work an increase in the next chain. We're going to work 2 double crochets. And you can work right over your tail here to hide that in. So we just worked an increase. We're going to work 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 chains. And this is how you're going to work this in round 5 of the beanie pattern. So you're going to want to repeat that around. After we've worked 1 in each of the next 2, we're going to work an increase. So we'll work 2 double crochets into this next chain. And you can stop working that around at any time. I'll do 1 more. And then I'll just drop that tail and clip it off at the end. But we'll work 1 double crochet into each of the next 2. And then we'll be working 2 double crochets or an increase into our next one. So you're going to work this all the way around in that fashion. You're going to be working an increase and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 2. An increase, 1 double crochet in each of the next 2. Increase, 1 double crochet in each of the next 2, all the way to the end. You should end this round with 1 double crochet in each of the last 2 chains. So go ahead and continue that around. I'll meet you right here on the other end. All right, so I thought I'd go ahead and pop in here and finish off this round with you real quick. But we're down to our last 3 chains here. We just finished 1 double crochet in the last 2 chains. Now we're going to work an increase, 2 double crochets in the next chain. And then we'll end with 1 double crochet in each of the last 2 chains. All right, so we're going to join actually to our first double crochet made right up here. And it's going to want to mess with me again. I think I'm going to be doing this every time I have to restart the video, so I apologize, guys, but do my best to keep it fast and clear. All right, so we're going to join to the top of that first double crochet with a slip stitch. And there we have finished our first round on the messy bun. So on the second round of the messy bun, we're continuing on to round 6 in the beanie hat pattern. So you're just going to continue on to the end of your beanie hat. That's the only difference that you're going to have. So just real quick for round 6 on the messy bun hat, we're going to chain 2. We're going to work 2 double crochets into that chain space right there, or an increase. Work our 2 doubles. And then we are going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 chains or 3 stitches. So this is going to help us increase to a larger size in our hat. These rows are going to give us that increase we need to make that average size hat. So again, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. This is for the messy bun hat pattern. If this part right here on top is a little too big for your liking, one thing that I can just kind of give you a tip on, because it really works out well to have it this way, but sometimes those messy bun hats kind of, sometimes the patterns that I've found for them start with a lot smaller of a hole, and if you've got a lot of hair, that kind of stinks. It doesn't give you a lot of room to work with. But if you do want it to be smaller, say you're doing this for a child, I would either, well, no, I think what I would do is I would just, when you're finished, when you've completed your hat, just take some yarn and just weave in and out of this section here so that you can close it off. And just to quickly show you what I mean by that, you can just take your needle and run through the inner stitches in and out, in and out, in and out, like a shoe tie kind of deal, you know, just kind of lace around in and through, and then just pull it. And that will close that up a little bit. And then you can literally just tie it in a knot, finish it off by hiding in that tail, and you'll have a smaller hole. Okay, so we're done with this. We're done with the messy bun hat section of this. I apologize that I'm not finishing it off. The beanie hat is the one that I'm going to do on video today. So I'm going to jump right into that. I'm going to take this out because I'm going to be using this yarn. The magic loop. What you want to do, and there are different ways of doing this. This is how I do it. Yarn over once and yarn over twice, crossing over the second time. I hold this yarn with my thumb and this with this finger right here, my ring finger. You come in through with your hook and latch on to this strand. Flip your hook up, and then you're going to take this strand right here and you're going to pull it through that loop. So if you're working the magic loop method, the nice thing is being able to adjust it as you're working it. So you can pull it closed, you can make it wider if you need to, but we're going to start by working our 12 double crochets into this loop. We'll start by chaining 2 and then working 12 double crochets right into the loop. And I'll hold this tail along as I move and work my double crochets so that I can hide the tail in as I go. So 12 double crochets into this loop. 1, 2, There's 8. Ten, 11, and 12. So we have our 12 double crochets, and now with this magic loop, you can take your tail and pull all of this closed all the way till you close that up. Now, if it doesn't close up all the way, that's okay, because I will show you how we're going to work that tail in around the back of this on the inside of the hat to finish that off. So we're going to join to the top of our first double crochet made with a slip stitch. And then moving on to round 2 of the beanie pattern, we're going to start by chaining 2 and working right into that same chain space right there. We're going to work 2 double crochets into that space. This round is a full increase round, which means we're going to work 2 double crochets into every stitch around. So we will have a total of 24 stitches at the end of this round. You're going to work 2 double crochets into each stitch. And just for time's sake, this will be the last round that I actually work a full round on camera. This should go pretty quickly, but from here on out, I'm going to get you started and then let you complete the round, and then we'll just meet back up towards the end of that round. I keep wanting to miss, but remember, you're increasing in every stitch, which means 2 double crochets in each stitch around for a total of 24. Make sure you have 24 after this round. And then this will be our last. This yarn has little fibers in it, making it rustic, as the name says. You can see all these little, they're almost like little sticks or twigs or something. I mean, it's real rustic here. Interesting yarn, very interesting. Okay, so once we've gotten to the end here and we've double checked 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and then our chain. We're going to join to the top of that first double crochet made with a slip stitch. All right, so now we are moving on to round 3. Let me untangle this mess. Round 3, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to start round 3 with 2 double crochets. And through this beanie part, that's going to be the common denominator here. We're going to be working 2 double crochets and increase into that chain space to begin. Only for this top section. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet. I'm sorry, we're actually, if we're following the pattern, we're actually on round 4. Forgive me. So 2 double crochets, then we're going to work 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to work 2 double crochets in the next stitch, one double crochet in the next stitch, and an increase in our next stitch. So you're doing this all the way around. You're going to work an increase in every other stitch around. So our next one is going to be 1 double crochet, and then our next stitch will be 2 double crochets. So continue this around. Once you get to the end of round 4, we will meet at the end, finish it up, and move on to round 5. All right, so we are coming into the end of round 4, and we're going to work, we've got the 2 stitches left. We just worked 1 double crochet. Now we're going to do an increase, so 2 double crochets, and then we'll do the 1 double crochet in our last stitch. Join to the top of that first double crochet made with a slip stitch, and we've completed round 4. So we're moving on to round 5. Where we are going to start by chaining 2. We're going to start with our 2 double crochets into that same chain space right there. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet into each of the next 2. Okay, so we started with round 5 after we did our chains in the messy bun hat pattern. So this is actually that chain minus all of this, and we're starting with the round that we started with in the messy bun hat pattern. So after we do the 1 double crochet in each of our next 2 stitches, we're going to work an increase, so 2 double crochets in the next, then 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then an increase, 2 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 2. And we're going to repeat this pattern around and around and around till we get to the other side, where I will meet you and we will finish off round 5. See you in just a bit. Okay, so we're coming into the end here of round 5. We just worked 1 double crochet in each of our last 2 stitches right there. So now we're going to work an increase in our next. We have 3 stitches left. So we're going to end with 1 double crochet in each of our last 2. And then we will join to the top of our first double crochet made. Now, this puts us at, let's see, this is round 5. So at the end of round 5, you're going to have a total of 48 stitches. At the end of round 4, you'll have a total of 36 stitches. So it's just multiples of 12 here on the beanie. So we have 48 total stitches. Double check to make sure you're right on cue there. And then we're going to move on to round number 6. We're going to chain 2 and work our 2 double crochets into that chain space there, our increase right off the bat. And then we're going to move up 1 more. We're going to work 1 double crochet in each of our next 3 stitches. And then we work an increase of 2 double crochets in the next. So we'll work 1 double crochet in each of our next 3 stitches. And then an increase, 2 double crochets in our next. 1 double crochet in each of the next 3. Two double crochets, increase in our next. you're going to continue this. Repeat that around. You'll work 1 double crochet in each of the next 3, then an increase. 1 double crochet in each of the next 3, then an increase. Work that around, continue until you get to the end. I will meet you on the other side. So we have come to the end of our round 6, and we just worked our 1 double crochet in each of our last 3 stitches, and now we're going to work our increase, our last increase, and then 1 double crochet in each of our last 3 stitches. Oops. Now we're going to join to the top of our first double crochet made with a slip stitch. And we have actually completed our beanie part, our top increase for this beanie hat. And now we're moving on to the rosebud stitch pattern. Boy, this yarn is seriously, it's very rustic. I don't even know that this would be comfortable on your head. You'd have things poking at you, but I mean, it's a fun yarn, but wow. All right. So moving on to round 7, we are going to start by chaining 2. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to work into that same chain space. We're going to work a half double crochet. So yarn over into that chain space, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through those 3. That's a half double crochet for new crafters out there. And now we're working the half double single crochet 2 together. Okay, and I call it this because it's not one or the other, and I haven't found a better name for this, so I just put those 2 together and voila. So what we're going to do is yarn over, going into our next stitch. We're going to go into that next stitch, yarn over and pull through 3 loops on the hook, and then immediately into the next stitch we're going to go into that stitch and yarn over and pull through. So we have 4 loops on the hook, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook and chain 1. And then we're going to do this again. Yarn over, go into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on the hook, directly into your next stitch, and then yarn over, pull through till you have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 4 loops on the hook and chain 1. You're going to do this all the way around. Pull through, directly in. Yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on the hook, back directly into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on the hook and chain 1. Do this all the way around. One thing I want to mention in the pattern, I go through all of this stuff, all of the steps of this, and hopefully that gives, you know, it makes it a little easier if you decide, you know, you only want to use this video one time to make one, and then you'd like to, if you have more that you want to make, if you like it enough to make more, then you can do it off the written pattern. But really, this pattern is so simple. And once you get down these 2 stitches, you know, the beginning part of this is a basic beanie hat, the start 2. But once you get this row and the next row down pat, you will breeze through it. It's going to be pretty simple for you. And this round just flies by. I'm doing it a little slower than I normally do it, but it's really such an easy stitch. I use a very similar one in a dishcloth pattern that I have called the Spritz Cookie Dishcloth Pattern. And that is also available on my YouTube channel. But boy, it just makes a really pretty pattern, and it's so super fast to work up. Okay, I may be able to finish this up pretty quick on camera. So let's just get through this. Yeah, I've only got a few more. As with any crochet project, most of them, you know, the amigurumis, little creatures you make, little dolls and stuff, sometimes you like to be a little tighter on your stitches just because that's the nature of that type of pattern. But with most of these other patterns, hats, scarves, shirts, blouses, whatever you're making, you want to keep your tension nice and comfortable, loose, not too loose, but you just want to be relaxed. You don't want it to be a tight and stress. You don't want to stress stitch because sometimes it makes it harder for you to work in throughout the pattern. Okay, so we get to the end of this round. See how fast that went? We got through that faster than these simple double crochets. When you get to the end, you should have one stitch left. You want to make sure, I'm going to back out of this. Let's go to where we have 3 stitches left on here. We'll go ahead and complete our last half double single crochet 2 together stitch. So we're going in, pulling through, in, pulling through, pull through all 4. Make sure to chain 1 and then end with a half double crochet in your last stitch. Do not forget that chain 1. You're going to need it for the count for your next round. Okay, so I'm curling up a little bit. It's all going to work itself out. But now we're moving on to our rosebud stitch. Okay guys, now I have added a little light to this, and I have to tell you right now, and I've told you this before, I am not a professional videographer, whatever. I do the best I can just to, you know, give you the tutorial and help where I can, and not always do I have the best lighting and all of that. Hopefully this isn't bad. Oh, I'm sorry. I just don't have great lighting in my house. So I need to work on that. So we're going to work with the light for a minute, and then I'm going to test it and see if it's just totally messing everything up. Hopefully it's not. So unlike the scarf pattern for the Ramblin' Rose scarf, if you've made that, we just make that, you know, row after row. We're actually going to be, and actually no, it's just like that because we'll be turning at the end of every round or every row with the scarf. We're going to turn with every round of our hat because we want for that rosebud stitch to be prominent, showing on the outside of our hat. So what you want to do is start by chaining 2. Turn your work. Make sure that we keep a focus. There we go. And then we're going to be working into that chain space where it's going to be not as obvious now, but it's this space right here. And we're going to start with a half double crochet. So we're going to go into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 for a half double crochet. Now, immediately following this half double crochet, we're going to yarn over twice, like we're making a treble crochet. And we're going directly into that same space that we made the half double crochet. We're going to yarn over and pull through. You will yarn over. You'll have 4 loops on your hook there. You'll yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to go into your next stitch, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then you'll yarn over, pull through all 3 of these loops on your hook and give it a little tug. That's going to push out your little rosebud. So make sure after you pull through the last 3 loops on your hook there, you give it a little tug. That's it. Doesn't have to be major, just a little tug to pull the stitches together. Now, here's our next stitch here we're going to go into with a half double crochet. From that half double crochet, we'll yarn over twice, go directly into that same stitch as the half double crochet and pull through with 4 loops on your hook. We'll yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We'll go directly into our next stitch here, yarn over, pull through with 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and give it a little tug. Okay, and you see these little rosebuds forming. I'll do this a couple more times, but it really is simple, and just, you know, make sure you're going into the stitch. We're not going into the space and working. We're working actually into that chain 1 space, or yeah, the chain 1. You're not working into the space. You're actually working into the chain. Sorry. So going into our next, we just finished our last rosebud stitch. We're going to work our half double crochet into our next stitch. Then yarn over 2 times, go directly back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, go directly into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, give it a little tug. Okay. Now I'm going to turn off this light because I don't know if it's helping. It just, oh, maybe it is. Maybe it was helping. I don't know. I feel like it's giving me more shadow. So I'm going to try this and see. Hopefully it's all right, guys. I'm sorry. I will work on my lighting. That is my plan. We start with our half double crochet into our next stitch. Half double crochet, yarn over twice, directly into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, directly into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3, give it a little tug. All right, so I'm going to let you continue on and work this round, and then we'll meet back up and finish it up together. But it's really, like I said, guys, once you've done it a few times, you're just going to get through it really easily, and it's going to be like nothing. So I mentioned in my scarf pattern before, so you see all of these little rosebuds forming here. Every once in a while I'll do it, and maybe I don't give it a good tug or whatever, good enough tug. So it's a little flatter, and you can see that like there's a space between 2 and there's missing, and I always go back because I don't know. I mean, I feel like you can see it. If you don't see that rosebud, you can see that there's something missing there. But you'll notice right away if you stay in the stitches, like just up on top, you'll see all your little bumps, and they don't all have to be the same size. But you want to be able to see the rosebud right there. So that is what the hat is all about, or the pattern. So just go ahead and work your rosebud stitch round here. And when we have gotten to the end, I will flip the video back on and we will finish this round up together. Okay, we're going to try this, and I know it gives me an extra shadow on my hand. I'm sorry. I want to pop in here for the last part of this. We have just our 2 stitches left, but I just want to make a note of something. You want to make sure that you're going into the correct stitches. So if you look at this, you could see the actual top of the stitch itself is where we're going to be putting the half double crochet, and then we'll be finishing off in the chain. So you want to make sure that your half double crochet is always going into that stitch from the previous round. Okay, not actually, it's the half double crochet or the half double single crochet 2 together. So not the chain 1. So the chain 1 is going to be where we finish off our stitch. I don't know what just happened here. I guess I'm going back 1, but this might show you a little bit better. So let me just finish off this 1 stitch. See how I'm finishing off the stitch in that chain 1. Okay, so my half double crochet is going into the top of that stitch there. And then we'll finish off going into that same one, pulling through 2, finishing off in our chain 1 from the previous round. All right. So hopefully that made some sense there. And then you're going to be joining to the top of your first stitch made here. Don't join into the chain, join into the stitch. Okay, so you have all of the pattern here now. We are just alternating between our half double single crochet 2 together round and our rosebud stitch round for the remainder of this pattern until you've grown it to the length you desire. You just need to remember after each round, we're going to chain 2 and turn our hat. Okay, so when you go back to work going into your work, you're going to start your half double crochet is going to start actually starting right into our first stitch, that chain space right there. And then over the next 2 stitches, we're going to work our half double single crochet 2 together, plus the chain 1. Easy stuff. And you're going to go around this round. Your half double part of this is going to go directly over the rosebud stitch in that stitch right there. And then directly into your next and chain 1. And do this all the way around. Sorry. I am missing on each and every one of these. So go around on this round. This is actually a repeat of round 7, guys and gals. So from here on out with this pattern, we're going to be working round 7 and rounds 8 from the written pattern, which again can be found on YarnWars.com. I will have an actual link to the written pattern on YarnWars in the description box below. Or again, if you're a member of the YarnWars group on Facebook, which the link is also down below, we have all of the PDF downloadable printable file files that you can get for free if you're a member of the group. So that is in the files tab of the group on Facebook. And we're just going to continue around. I'll let you finish off this round, and we will meet to move on to our next round, which I will get you started on, and then let you complete your hat, growing your hat. See you in a bit. Okay, guys. So the reason I'm playing so much with lighting right now is it's getting dark outside. And earlier I had a little more light. It's going away. So I want to finish my video because I keep getting, I have to work. So I'm trying to find that time to get it taken care of. So we have 3 stitches left here to work into. We are going to work one of our half double single crochets 2 together and a chain 1, and then we'll end with that half double crochet in our last stitch. No chain after that, just a half double crochet, and then we're going to join to that first stitch up there, that first half double made. Okay, so that is now we've worked 2 rounds of our round 7, and then one of our rosebud stitches, and we just continue until we've grown it to the length that we desire. So I'll just get you started into the rosebud stitch round, this next one, and then I'm just going to let you work it from here because it doesn't change from here. Just remember that every beginning stitch is going to be worked into the same as the chain space that you chain up. So for the rosebud stitch round, to get back into that, we're going to chain 2 and then turn our work towards us. Now it's going to be a little awkward finding this chain stitch here because it's turned. We've just turned it. So we're actually right here in this little area right here where we're going to make our first half double crochet. So just push into that and make your first half double, and then yarn over twice. You're going back in to that same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, into your next stitch, pull through all 3, give it a little tug. Okay? So you see we're beginning on that stitch where that kind of gap is, where the chain space is. We're starting on above the stitch right there with our next half double crochet, if that makes sense. Yarn over twice, back into that same stitch, next stitch, pull through all 3, give a little tug, and continue around till you reach the end. But from here on, I am going to have you complete your hat. So this is another round. We're starting with a new round of round 8, and then you'll go to round 7, round 8, round 7, round 8, round 7, round 8, continue until you've reached the length that you would like for your hat to be. So let me just pull this back out because this is going to be my finished project here. It's one that I did for that. It's always good to have handy a nice little tape measure so that you can make sure that you are in the right place for what you're growing. Now, if you, and I explain in the pattern, if you need to make this beanie smaller, then you want to actually eliminate one of these increase rounds here. So you'll want to eliminate round 6, would give you a smaller hat. It would give you the next size down. If you need a larger hat, you're going to want to increase one more round. So with round 6, we started with an increase of 2 double crochets in our first stitch. Then we worked 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So for a larger hat, you're going to want to work an increase, and then you'll want to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. That will get you up, that will bring your increase up, and you'll be at, for the next size up, you'll be at 72 stitches before you hit your actual rosebud pattern with your half double crochet or half double single crochet 2 together in your rosebud stitch rounds. So that is where you're going to get the sizing on your hat, and from here we're growing it to the length that we need. So for this particular hat, you want to make sure, because I like my hat to be just right over the ears, to the bottom, just to the bottom of my ear. So for me, that is, we're at about 8 inches on length. Okay, 8 inches gives me the length I need to just cover my ears all the way, to the bottom of my ears. So how I did this is the way I ended this round, or this hat, is I ended with my half double single crochet 2 together round. So I ended with a round of from round number 7, and then when I got to the end and completed round number 7 repeat, I chained 2, and I didn't even turn my work for the final round. I just did a round of half double crochets all the way around, and this gave me that total of 8. Now you can grow this as long as you want to, and you can make it a slouch hat in beanie fashion if you like, even, or if you want it a little longer, you can make it longer. If you want to make it shorter, I have all of the measurements in the written pattern for where you should be at with hat length. Like the next hat length down would be, it would be approximately 7 to 7.5 inches in length. Also, we'll show you the measurements for head circumference. So you just measure around the head to get that size for whoever you're making it for. If it's a child, whatever size you need, and that will help guide you on this. This head circumference was, I want to say 21 inches was the total for that. This was 21 inches. So it does have stretch to it though. So it will fit a little bit larger, maybe a little bit smaller even when you pull it all in with your stitches. So if that helps at all, again, please refer to the pattern, the written pattern, for more information on your sizing for your hats. I'm going to try to get focused right off the bat here. All right. So for our beanie, or our slouch hat, we're going to start with our slip knot. And we're going to start for the average size adult head for this. If you pay attention to the yarn that you have, you want to make sure you have a 4-weight yarn that you're working with. If you're working with, say, a thicker yarn, you are not going to need to make as many chains. And you're going to have to measure out. Just remember, you're going to be measuring in multiples of 6. But we're going to start this with a chain of 60. So do your chain of 60. 22, 23, 24, 25. I'll be there in no time, guys. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Maybe. 1, 32, 33, 34. 5, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 10 more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. All right, our chain is 60. Make sure that we're going to join with our first chain made, but make sure that you join and untwisted. Make sure that it's all the right way. You don't want it twisted. And then we're going to go into our first chain with a slip stitch. All right. I started out, so this should be for an average adult size. If you're working a slouch pattern, it's going to be the same all the way up, remember, because we're going to be working the full pattern for this. So for the slouch pattern, we're going to start by chaining 2. Now, on the one that I did, the blue one, I started with a half double crochet in each chain around in each of my foundation. So start by working, because this will help give you somewhat of a brim. Now you can do different kinds of rims for your hat. The starting, if you wanted to make it ribbed, you could make it that way. I'm not going to show you all the different options that you can do. I'm just doing a simple half double crochet all the way around, giving us a good solid foundation to start. So you're just going to go into each chain, and I'm holding on again to my tail, holding that above my work so that I can work over that tail and hide it in right off the bat. And that way I don't have to hide it in the end. I can just clip it right off and I'm done with one tail. So I'm going to leave you to getting your half double crochets in place, and then I will pop back in here in the end and we'll move on to the next round for this. Okay, so we're coming into the end of our half double crochets. I've got just a couple more here. And then we will join to the top of our first half double crochet right there. You'll have a total of 60 half double crochets. From here, we're going to jump right in to our half double single crochet 2 together round. So we're going to chain 2. I don't know why, like, it's just funny for me to say it every time, but we're going to work our first half double crochet into this round here, or into this same chain space. Okay, half double. And then from here, we're doing our half double single crochet 2 together. So yarn over, go into the next, go directly into the next, pull through all 4 and chain 1. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, go directly into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 4 chains, chain 1. And do this into all of the stitches around to the other side, where we will meet up and move on to our next round. This is a real fast and easy one, so we'll be there in no time. I'll see you guys on the other end. Okay, so we're coming into the end here, and we finished here. We're going to work our next half double single crochet 2 together over these next 2 stitches, and a half double crochet to end. Don't forget, after this, a half double crochet, single crochet 2 together, to chain 1. You do want to make that chain 1 before you make your final half double crochet in this round. And then we're going to join to the top of your first half double crochet there. Okay, so this would be, let's see, I'm trying to think. Well, I'll do a quick count on mine when I finish here for what I came up with on 10 inches. But now we're moving into our rosebud stitch round, but this is how we're working this. So the nice thing about this is you're going to grow it all the way up. You don't have to sew a seam together like I mentioned before. It's just really convenient. But we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and into that first chain space right there, we're going to work a half double crochet. Then we're going to yarn over twice, go back into that same stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, go directly into the next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3, and give it a little tug. Want your little rosebud. Into the next one, we're going to work a half double, yarn over twice, into that stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, into our next stitch, pull through all 3, give it a little tug. So we're just going to go through this round. I'm going to actually just remember when you yarn over twice that you're going back into the same stitch you made that half double crochet into, and then into the next stitch to finish it off to get yourself a rosebud. So you're going to complete this, and then when you finish this round, if you want to meet at the end here, we'll go ahead and meet, and I will get you started in the direction for the next round, and you're just going to continue to grow this until it's as long as you'd like for it to be. Actually, I may just let you continue it now, because what we're doing is the same exact thing. We're doing the same exact thing as the beanie pattern from here. We're alternating rounds 7 and 8 of the beanie pattern. And let me just see real quick on my pattern for the slouch. Yep, okay, so if you're looking at the written pattern on the slouch, which is linked in the video description below, what you're going to do is you're going to repeat rounds 3 and 4. So our first round is chaining our 60, and you're going to need to chain less. I'm not really sure how far down. It's best to kind of just measure it. Use your, if you've got the model in front of you who's going to be wearing it, use their head to get an idea, and make sure you're doing that in multiples of 6 for your chaining. But you'll start with your chain of 60 on an average adult beanie, and then you're going to move up and do your row or round of half double crochets, and then you're going to go into your half double single crochet 2 together plus chain 1 for round 3. Then we're jumping into our rosebud stitch, then back to your half double single crochet 2 together plus chain 1 round 3. I'll put the half double single crochet 2 together plus chain 1 round, and then the rosebud stitch round. I'll put those 2 in the description below so you know to alternate. But really it's just in how you're starting your hat, whichever hat you're going to be making, how you're going to complete it. So we'll go ahead and finish this rosebud stitch round, and then we're going to go ahead, I'll just push you into the next part of it. But Then we'll just wrap this video up. I'm sorry it took so long, but I have different sections, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the times for the different hats in the description below, because I really wanted to try to get in the starts at least of all of these hats so that you guys knew your options and how to get this started. The headband is started out the same exact way. If you wanted to make a headband that's made or started out the same exact way as the Slouch. The only difference is that you're going to stop here a lot sooner than you will for the Slouch. So, all right, guys, I'm just going to finish this one round and then we're going to meet up. So pause the video and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we're coming into the end of this round, and you'll always end the rosebud stitch round with the full rosebud stitch, and that's all. And then you'll join. So our final rosebud stitch, we'll do our half double, and then yarn over twice, same stitch, go into, pull through two, into that last stitch, yarn over, pull through, give a little tug, and join to the top of that first half double crochet. Okay, so we've just completed our rosebud stitch round. Our next will be going into the half double single crochet 2 together plus chain 1 round, and that will be starting with a chain 2, turning our work, finding that first, and don't forget it's going to be that same chain space, so you're going to be looking for that hidden gem right there to put your first half double crochet into. Okay, and then you'll be going on from there to make your half double single crochet 2 together plus chain 1 all the way down. You're going to continue alternating. After this round will be the rosebud stitch round, the one we just finished, and then we'll work that round, and then the rosebud stitch, and then the next half double single crochet 2 together plus chain 1 round. So in the written pattern, the rosebud stitch is going to be number 4. The half double single crochet 2 together round will be round 3. So you'll alternate rounds 3 and 4 until you've grown it to the length that you desire. Remember, a slouch should be, I would say, at minimum 10 inches in length, but even longer is better. It really depends on the size head. You know, if it's a child, adult, whoever you're making it for. But when you're finished with this, growing it to that length, that's when, at that point, because I ended this slouch hat, like I said, I ended it with a half double single crochet 2 together round. So because I did that, I didn't need to turn my work for the last round of half double crochets, because that put everything on the right side. So if you do it like this, and then you end with your half double crochets, which would have been up here, but I'm just using this as an example. You end with your half double crochet round, you'll just do your round 3 of half double single crochet 2 together, chain 2, and then just work continuously around again, making half double crochets all the way around. Finish off, leave yourself a long tail so that you can do the little close off. All right, so this is the slouch hat pattern. So when you're done, it's going to look kind of like a cowl, a short cowl, or, you know, just like a kind of an infinity scarf, really, a small one. So just to go over for beginners, I'm going to do this real quick. But tails. This is our beginning tail here. And you just want to hide, you should only have 2 tails in this, unless you're switching out colors and, you know, getting really fun and crazy with this. But really all you want to do when you're hiding your tails is get as much tucked away as you can so that it's secure and no longer visible. So you just want to kind of weave in and out of stitches until you're comfortable. And I like to go after I come through, I like to go behind that stitch again and come down into the hat itself more, but you're going into stitches. You don't want to go all the way through to the other side. You're going in between stitches and pulling through just to hide the yarn, but that kind of locks in that last place, so it gives you a little more security there. But you're just kind of following your hat and what it's going to let you do without messing up the look of the pattern anywhere. And you just want to hide until you get it all tucked away, or until you're comfortable that it's not going to break free. I'm good with this, so I will finish there and clip off that tail. So one tail hidden, done. So for the slouch hat, we finished here. And the slouch hat, and I'm just really showing you, this doesn't slouch as much as normally I would, you know, do a slouch hat. Usually I'll go at least like 10 inches, and we're really close here. We are really close, but not quite. But I would go normally about 10 inches to 12 inches on a slouch on length, okay? But the purpose of this pattern is so that you can make the rosebud pattern from top to bottom, and you don't have that real obvious beanie section. So I finished my last round. This is the top of my slouch hat, and I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to give myself a decent amount of yarn here. I personally like to, I like more than less. It's better safe than sorry, and you don't want to short yourself out so you're getting part way around and not able to grab onto all of this. But for the slouch, what I'm going to do from here is I'm only going in through the back loops on this, okay? So I am going to start with the first back loop. I'm going to go in with my needle and come in through the back loop on the next stitch. In with my needle on the next stitch and out through the next stitch. Okay, and I'm literally going to do this all the way around. See how that is kind of zigzaggy there? And I'll take, you know, as I go, I'll just kind of give it a little tug. And then we're going back in and doing this through. These are our top stitches, our last stitches, but we're only going through the back loops right now to grab all of this. So in, through, in, through, in, and we'll pull. Okay, so I'm going to go a little quicker around with this. I just wanted to show you what I'm doing so that you know we're doing this all the way back to that join at the beginning. Okay. Okay, so we're coming into the end. I'm gonna make sure I get to the right part. Okay, we are right here. Okay, so there's our join. You can see it. It might take a minute for you to find it, but it's right there, and you're not going to be able to just jump right into it. So when I get to the end, though, I will literally just grab under. See, here's where our start is. I'll just skip right over to this one right here. Go in, pull through and be done with that. So then we're taking our string, pulling it all together. And slouches are nice to either have alone or to have like a pom-pom. And if you have a pom-pom, then you're really closing this part up. But this part, you always seem to get that real, like this bunchy look up on top for the top of your slouch patterns or the slouch hats, just because there's got to be that join there. So just give it, pull it without breaking your yarn. And then from here, you're really just kind of scooching in and across. Like I'm going in and across just so I can secure it, okay? I want to secure that center section so that it's not a gaping hole, and this, when you pull this all together, it pretty much closes it all off. But this is a way to ensure that you've closed everything off well, and just go through it a few times and make sure that you've got that all closed off. So anyhow, you're just going to do this until you're comfortable that there's no hole that you can see. And so that's your slouch hat pattern. And like I said, the nice thing about this is you get that full rosebud stitch pattern on this hat that you don't get with the beanie, but you do get, I love the beanie too. But then you'll just clip this off, hide in your tail like you would. You can pull it, you can insert your needle in and then work it from the inside and just hide that tail off so that it's not seen anymore. The slouch hat is actually really simple. You're just doing a continuous all the way around. You're just starting from the bottom and moving to the top, whereas the beanie, we are starting from the top and we're ending at the bottom. All right, everybody, that is it. And with all of the distractions in the background and all the times I had to cut out my video so that you guys didn't have to be distracted by the distractions in my background, I'm so sorry. I want to pull in my scarf too because I'm so happy with this scarf. I love how the scarf turned out. And I just want to thank you for taking some time here with me today and going through this pattern and putting up with me. I know it was a lot, guys, but like I said in the description below, I'm going to put the time frames for each of the different types of hats. The scarf pattern link will also be down there. This came out first, and I'll get you everything you need. If you have any questions at all, please just ask me in the comments below. My dog is about to start eating his food. It doesn't end around here, but thank you. Thank you for your time today. I hope you've enjoyed this pattern. I would love for you guys to subscribe. I have a lot of great free patterns. Come and visit us over at our Facebook group. Tag me if you make something. If you make one of the patterns, I would love for you to tag me in the group, Colleen Hayes. So I will see you guys next time, or I will be talking to you next time. We'll have a new pattern coming around the corner here soon. Have a wonderful evening, friends. Thank you. Bye-bye.